Good morning. Andreas here on this 4th of July, and I wanted to answer some thread today, probably a couple before I have to go to work here, but the first one I wanted to do was Buddy Bopper's first thread, sort of, as it's called, I guess. Pardon me. Just woke up, so give myself a chip. Barbecue. Alright. First one is show a record you bought with an emotional connection to one song. I'm weird. I don't really develop emotional connections to songs. I mean, I don't know, it depends on what emotion you're talking about, but like, you know, nostalgia, like, oh, that song, you know, that kind of thing. But I do have one record. This is pretty much the only record I'm going to show in this thread, but well, I'll name another thing for question 3, but I got this record, well, based off the title track, and I guess emotionally I was connected to it because it reminded me of sitting in the back of my mom's car. She had dubbed it to tape, and I just loved the song. I mean, it was 18 minutes long, and it's like, I don't know, maybe I was really patient as a kid. Like, I didn't get frustrated if things weren't going my way all the time, you know what I mean? I mean, of course I did at times, I was a child, but the title track of that song, especially, just reminds me of, like, driving to my grandma's house. Like, it was an 8-hour drive, and, you know, just hearing that song, and its gloriousness, I think it's one of the better, I'm pretty sure they did the entire 17 minutes in one take, so I've always really admired that, and I've actually tried to emulate that in bands I've been into. But yeah, that's that one. Number 2, show a beat record you bought to fill a hole, overpaid for it. Kind of with Fred on this one, Big Star. I don't really fill holes in my collection because like Fred, I don't really consider myself a collector, and that's obvious based off of Alphabet City. That I'm not, like, you know, completing an artist's collection at all. Like, I don't think I'll ever do that, just because I'd rather have what's a good word for it? Tapas. I'd rather have tapas than a buffet. Let's just put it that way. Like, just little samplings of whomever, you know. If I really like an artist, like I do have, you know, multiple records from, you know, a few, I'll tend to buy, you know, a couple of their records, you know. There's a couple that, I've, like the Mummies and the Makeup, those two bands, I think I have almost all of their records. But it's like, those are bands that I really, really, really enjoy, you know. And then there's bands that only release one record, you know, and so I had their whole catalog. Let's see, number 3, one song or album that shoots you straight back to when you heard it. And how, you know, why is that, I guess. The song that I thought of, and I don't have the album, unfortunately. I need to get, actually, I don't have any of their albums on vinyl. But it's the Pixies, or Pixies. And the song is Mr. Greaves. Why it shoots me back? This is a little scandalous, kids. So if you got young ones, you know, or if you're averse to recreational drug use, hide your ears. Mr. Greaves, just the intro. Look it up. It's Frank Black, basically. He sounds like he's having a good time, I guess. But he says like, "Hope everything is all right," and then there's a part where he just laughs when he repeats the line. I can't emulate that, but at the time, me and my friends were doing blotter acid, and we must have played that first part of that song at least 20 times, over and over again, and just losing it, like laughing our asses off. And every time I hear that song, it takes me back to that. Call it a flashback. But I mean, I don't know. I laugh quite a bit, but I think with connection to music and like transporting me back, you know. I think that's one song that does it. I mean, there's a few, of course, but that's one that came to mind. Ritual whilst listening to records. Way to steal my verb, dude. Just kidding. Well, I don't really have one. Because I live with 5 people. There's not a time I could set aside, you know, like this is my, you know, my time. And it's always changing. It can go from, you know, the house is all a buzz and everybody's doing stuff. I could put on a record and everyone's like, you know, yeah, or oh god, you know what I mean? Like it's either one or the other. And yeah, do chores. I don't tend to. I mean, I do a lot of reading. I'll research the record while I'm listening to it. Sometimes, like on the computer here, and what else? Not anything. I mean, yeah, Big Star Fred put it best. You know, you can do anything in music. It's the soundtrack of our lives. So, yeah, no ritual per se. I mean, before I play a record, I'll clean it. You know, make sure my volume is set at you know, reasonable level, and go from there. Depending on the record. I mean, most records are better heard loud, in my opinion, even if they're quiet. If you were in a band, most embarrassing moment. I could do probably a series of videos just on that question. Because for my entire musical career, I've been in mainly like rock or punk bands. And not like that serious rock either. Like, I don't know, if I was in like a band like, I don't know, Godspeed or Depeche Mode or, you know, bands that, I mean, you may take offense to this, but bands that don't seem to have a sense of humor, I think an embarrassing moment would be if my guitar went out of tune, or if my pedal stopped working, you know, like, stuff that to me is just like, that's not really that embarrassing. That's kind of par for the course. But, okay, I'll tell this a quick story. There was a band I was in called Invisible Rays. We did like horror-themed punk. Not like the Misfits, more like kind of Dead Kennedys style horror-themed punk, I guess. And I had this thing called The Move that I had invented prior to this show. We played at this art. It was like an art, like a gallery. And so right before the last song, I said, I'm going to show you the move. You know, I was singing and playing bass. And the move consisted of me, like I'm standing there, I'd grab my crotch, shift hips, slap this hip, come over, and then kick with my other leg, right? The move. So I did the move. And I ended up blowing my knee out on stage. And I hit the stage hard. And everybody thought I was joking, and like, you know, the guitarist, she came over and she's kicking me. She's like, "Get up," you know, and I'm like screaming, like, "Ah!" Like, I've never been in so much pain. Like, it was. I guess that's embarrassing. Is that embarrassing? But yeah, yeah, like I said, I can go on and on, but yeah, that's just one story. And yeah, ever since then, I've had a trick knee. So, and then finally, what artist or genre are you focusing on at the moment? I don't tend to focus that acutely. And then with regards to like how I shop for it, too, I think that was part of the question I didn't write down. But like when I go to a record store, it's similar to Fred. Like I'll make a couple lists. You know, I don't have tons of them, and a lot of them are mental, of course. So I'll go in and I'll say, you know, I'm looking for this record, and I won't be able to find it, so I'll find something else. You know, it just depends on what mood I'm in. There is a record, and if any of you guys can find it for cheaper than $37, because I that's one thing. One thing about me, and my boss, who was Greek, my ex-boss. He told me something once, and this might be considered anti-Semitic, I guess. Maybe I better not say. Well, no, fuck it. He said, because you know, I've been taking punches all my life, so he said Greeks are like Jews but cheaper, and with regards to how they are with money, and I kind of agree with that. Like. And that's a stereotype, I know. But, like, I mean, you know, as far as money goes, I don't really like to overspend on records. But I digress. That's not the point. The point is, I'm looking for a record, and I don't want to spend a lot of money for it. And there's a particular record I've been focusing on since it came out, and it's out off of Rise Above Records. They're an English label. They do pretty much all the Electric Wizard stuff. They've reissued a couple Church of Misery things, but it's Blood Ceremony's new record. If I ordered it from Rise Above directly, it'd be like $50 with shipping. No. If I ordered it from All That Is Heavy, it's like $37. So I'm just trying to find it. I've been looking for it locally. It's Blood Ceremony's new record. They're like flute tinged, I guess kind of doom, but more like Sabbath, like that heavy blues is what I think Sabbath is. And I mean, a lot of people say Sabbath is heavy metal, but I don't think that is the case. I just don't think so. I think they're a rock and roll band with some awesome licks and riffs and hooks. All that lingo. But yeah, Blood Ceremony's new record is what my focus has been probably for the past 3 or 4 weeks. I've had a couple friends that have ordered it from All That Is Heavy. I don't know, I just can't get on board with paying $37 for a new record unless it's like a box set. So if you guys see it and it's cheaper than that, holla! So there's your answers, buddy Bopper, and I hope you like them. And I'm gonna go downstairs and do a little alphabetosis here. So, love ya.